Hey everybody, good to see you again. I'm DJ. My new nickname is Therapist with a Whiteboard. Because believe it or not, I use this for those that don't see me in session. I use whiteboards all the time. I think it's just a great way to kind of take in what a client is saying and put something here that just seems to make sense. And I think it helps people see it. So anyway, that's my new nickname, Therapist with a Whiteboard. What I want to talk about today is this idea of the landing strip or the landing pad. And just like an airplane or a helicopter, they got to land. They have landing gear for that. You never want to be on an airplane that doesn't have landing gear. Unless you're skydiving, which I did, which was great. But that's a whole other story for another day. So you want landing gear and you want potentially a good place to land. And so that's my kind of my metaphor today, because I had a client earlier who keeps wanting for her life to change externally in, right? So if I could only get rid of all these things, then I can land and settle. It doesn't work that way. So how busy we are, racing around, scrambling around, going from place to place to place, that energy is internal. I could have 12 things to do. Sometimes I see 11 or 12 people in a day. Or I could have 2. My pace throughout my day comes from within. Now, of course, there's things that throw us off, right? I think I'm going to an appointment and I'm getting there right on time, and then the highway's closed, or there's a traffic jam, or there's a detour, whatever. I mean, things are going to happen and that are going to test our ability to, how do we manage things in the moment. But for the most part, when people always are like, I just need more downtime, I need those things to stop, then I can land and settle. It's not happening that way. Because typically what happens, I'm going to erase this person that's being defined by the external, right, is we have a landing strip. Right? This is the landing. Right? What stops most people from landing is not what's going on here, but there's a block here that won't let them in. And they have all these reasons that they want to land, but then they get hijacked by whatever they're avoiding here. So I start landing. I think I'm going to quiet down. I'm going to get rid of a few appointments for today. I'm going to stop doing this. I'm going to stop doing that, so I can land, because the intellectual concept of landing feels good. It feels like, oh, I can do that. And then as you start approaching this landing, and they get hijacked into here. And then they're like, they start rushing around, and I gotta go, I gotta do something. Just when they start to land, all of a sudden, you know what, I think I'm gonna go away for a few days, I think I'm gonna do this, you know what, I'm gonna call a friend, blah, 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 blah. And so we go here. And this cycle just continues and continues until something shifts. That's called the landing gear. What is your landing gear? And these are equal to the mindfulness tools that I keep talking about just about in every video. Just about in every video you're going to hear body, mindfulness tools, present moment. I might throw the word curiosity in a few times, but the mindfulness tools. How do we start paying attention as we start coming down? What are we noticing? Do I say, wow, I really want some downtime? And then as I start getting it, I'm like, my breath changes, my body tightens, my mind starts going faster, because I gotta get out. I don't really want to land here. What is the here? Lots of variables there, right? Basically, we're going to look at what happens in body, emotion, and beliefs. Now, one of the videos, I think it was my last one, but I don't know what order you're watching them, I talked about triggers internal response, external reaction. That's kind of this process, right? I get triggered, I want to come down into here. If I don't do the work of body, emotion, and beliefs from that, I'm not going to go too much into that video, then I'm going to get hijacked back out. And now I'm going to have an external reaction. And we're going to keep having this rewounding habitual cycle that goes around and around and around and around. So what we want to do is, in that TRR model that I talked about last time, when we start landing, to start being curious about what's happening in body, emotion, and ultimately beliefs. And sometimes we just land for a little bit, and then we take back off. But even in that little bit, even if I just know, wow, just in this moment, oh my God, I just noticed that. And that's it. Little by little, I start noticing consistency. Hey, every time I do X, Y, Z, I find I hold my breath. Ooh, there it is again, there it is again. I just start being curious. Little by little, just like that mindfulness crowbar, I start opening up a little space. I start putting connections together. And I might realize, every time I'm around a certain person or a certain smell or a certain whatever, I have that reaction. But I don't know that if I never come into any kind of landing. So sometimes we just land and we take back off, but we get in here for a little bit of information. The idea is to keep deepening. We want to deepen, right? We want to expand our ability to stay here, to feel settled from the inside. And then it doesn't matter how much stuff we have out there, because we get to it when we get to it in the order that we need to, right? So paying attention to body, emotion, beliefs, using whatever mindfulness tools. One of the ones I talked about today in the session was the stay in the right lane. Now that you've been on the highway, I'm assuming most of you have driven on the highway, and tendency, you got some person, for whatever the reason, maybe driving 50, speed limit 65, most people are driving 80. Oh my God, I gotta go around, What happens if you just, no matter who is in that lane, you just stay? Now, for people who need to go 100 miles an hour, in and out, get where they're going so they can hurry up and get somewhere else, that's painful. The thought of that is almost torturous. So break it down. Can I do it for a mile? Can I do it from one exit to another exit? And hopefully you're not in Vermont where there's like 10 miles between the exits or something. But you just do it little by little. Can you drive the speed limit? How about that on a side street? When it says 25, and you're like, why the heck does it say 25? There's no one around. Can you do it? Can you be curious what happens? That ability to be mindful, present, is how we develop the landing gear, so that we can be here. If we don't go here, if we never explore what this line is, this barrier, we just keep repeating a cycle that just gets more embedded and hardwired. If we can get here to the landing, this is where we can then go into creating life. Reaction, creation. Reaction, creation. When we're here, we deepen, we expand, we take the steps we need to, we're curious, we're aware, and we create the life we want for ourselves. So your work is to keep practicing these tools to develop your landing gear. Because it's not about what's coming at you, it's about what's within. Have a good day. Good to see you again. Bye-bye.